Hey, what's up? I'm Basil Barrington. Welcome back to another Sunday Brunch. What is Sunday Brunch anyway? I think this is my second Sunday Brunch. Sunday Brunch is when I come on, I record a video on a Sunday, and I just talk about what's going on in the DJ space, the music production space, the podcasting space, and just some other things that, I may be dealing with as well, just to sort of put my studio together and products that I may be using to continue to develop as a content creator. So the last time I did the Sunday Brunch, I shot it on a totally different lens. I think it was I did one on the Suray, but I also did one on the Viltrox. I think it was a Viltrox 15 or 23 or something like that. Today I have a new lens. I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. The lens I'm shooting on today is the Sigma 12mm f1.4. Now, I know what you're thinking, like, wow, you've had so many lenses. Yes, I think over the last 3 or 4 months, I probably had about like 6 lenses, right? But you got to try these lenses and you got to see what works. I had the Sigma 10 to 18mm, but it was an f2.8. Now, another lens I have is the Sigma 16mm f1.4. So what I realized is in my space, in my recording studio and also out there in my DJ studio, f2.8 is not going to work. f2.0 is not going to work. f1.8 isn't going to work. What works is f1.4 and below. The Suray lenses are f1.2. I like that lens. It's a little heavy, a lot of focus breathing. But you know what's weird is I tried the Suray, I tried the Viltrox, I tried the TT Artisan, and I just keep coming back to Sigma because I just like Sigma. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna stick with Sigma. So right now I just have like 3 lenses. I have the Sigma 12mm f1.4, the Sigma 16mm f1.4, and I have the kit lens that came with the Sony ZV E10 Mark II, which is I think a 16 to 50 or something like that. And I like this lens because it has like a 2x zoom or a 3x zoom, so I'm really loving it. So that's what I'm shooting on right now. So what about what's going on in the DJ space? Like I said, we have the Reloop RP7. It's cool, it's clever. You know, it's a 7-inch turntable. It's cool. But let's talk about what's going on with Traktor, because I know people are probably thinking like, this guy is a Traktor hater. He must be a Traktor hater talking all this stuff about Traktor. Actually, I'm not. The reason why I talk a lot of smack on Traktor is because if Traktor basically really put everything together, it can be a force to be reckoned with, for real. I mean, think about it. They just came out with the Traktor MX2, which is a DJ controller. It replaces the S2. And, you know, I'm looking at the reviews and everything. When it first came out, it was like $559 or something like that. You can get it now for $450. So I guess the tariffs, like, you know, we had backwards tariffs or something like that, right? But, I'm looking at these videos, people, just the usual suspects reviewing it. And, a lot of them are saying that, hey, this is a beginner's controller. I'm going to say I don't think it's a beginner's controller. I think the only thing that, to me, that seems beginnerist or is the output. The RCA output. If you look at that controller, you have so many pro features. I can't call that controller a controller for beginners. And I've been contemplating whether or not I'm going to buy that controller. And the reason why I've been contemplating is because when it comes to Traktor, when it comes to Native Instruments, yes, I can say whatever I want to about Traktor, right? But they actually make really good gear. You can't front on that. You can't front on the fact that they make good gear, right? So the MX2, I don't think that's a beginner's device. I think that's like an intermediate device because you have all these pro features. You can control stems, all your decks and everything. I mean, you have a separate like effects control on each deck. That's pretty cool. You didn't get that on the S2. So I don't know if I don't think that's a beginner's controller. They also came out with something else, because I actually did a video talking about like, is Traktor dead? They have a pulse. We don't know yet, but they have a pulse, so they came out with the MX2. That makes me think that, okay, that's going to replace the S2. Okay, is there going to be an MX3, which is going to replace the S3? Do you even need an S3 though? Or an MX3? I don't know. Think about that. We know that the S4 is long in the tooth. Are we going to have an MX4? And are we going to have an MX8, an MX5, and an MX-D2, or something like that? We need to we need to refresh everything. And what's going on with the F1 too? You don't see the F1 on the website, so I think that an F1 is coming. That's there are some things I'm looking for when it comes to Traktor because I really do love the software. I just don't like the speed at which they do not offer updates or firmware updates or anything like that, and also put out a lot more DJ gear. If they did that, people like Traktor. Why do they like Traktor like me? Because it works and it's tight and the stems are sick. Those are the best stems in the market, or in the industry, I should say. Way better than Rekordbox, way better than Serato. I'm gonna say for me, when it comes to stems, Traktor is first, and then DJ Pro and Virtual DJ are sort of second, and Serato and Rekordbox, who knows? Serato may have better stems once they come out with Serato 4, so we will see. But I'm really looking forward to finding out if Traktor is going to release some more gear. I want to see that F1. I want to see that MX4. I want to see the rebirth of the S8, the S5, and the D2. You can do that. And also the Z2. That was a tight mixer. You see what I'm saying? If you want people to stay in your ecosystem, we need gear. If you give us gear, I'm quite sure that the number of people using Traktor, buying your hardware and your software, I think that number will tick up. They did come out with another sort of product too, a software, a light version. It's called Traktor Play. So this is the thing, right? I mean, why the skinny version? Do we even need a skinny version? I think when it comes to DJ softwares, you have one version and controllers can work on that version, and that's it. We don't need two versions of the same software. One is skinny and the other isn't. I mean, what you did was you introduced a skinny version of Traktor Pro 4, but you got rid of the iPad app. Come on, that doesn't make any sense to me. Again, Traktor, Native Instruments, you have the ability to just kill it right now because you make really good gear. They make good gear. You can't deny that. Their gear is so tightly integrated with their software as it should be. And I just think that, we just need more gear and more updates. And, I think you guys would be right there with maybe Rekordbox, Alpha Theta, and maybe even Denon. Well, I really don't say Denon a lot because I think that the competition for Traktor is really Alpha Theta. So we will see. Something else just happened too. Something else was just released. And I don't know if this was released specifically by Alpha Theta, but it's something called One Library. Now, this is something that a lot of DJs have been asking for because a lot of us we just use different software, different DJ softwares. I have on my laptop right now, I have Rekordbox, Serato, Virtual DJ, Traktor, and DJ Pro. It would be nice if I can set up a playlist with all my hot cues and everything else, and then be able to port that and use the same sort of settings in another DJ software, like a DJ Pro, like a Rekordbox, like a Traktor, yada, yada, yada. So this one library is supposed to do that. Right now, there are only 3 companies that are involved. This Rekordbox, DJ Pro, and Traktor. You see, so again, is Traktor dead? No, they have a pulse. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty cool. So, and then the other thing is with Traktor Play, just to get back to Traktor Play, you can actually use 2 other devices that are totally not Native Instruments. You can use the Flex 4 and the Flex 2. So that's pretty cool too. So The one library reminds me a little bit of, remember when a few years ago, I think that happened like early on in the lockdown, when all the tech companies got together, like Apple, Microsoft, Google, Samsung, and some others. They all got together and they said, hey, how can we basically create a system where all of these smart devices speak to each other, or at least speak to one system. And they created this thing called Matter. These companies had to adopt that, and they had to start making some of their smart devices, to put them, they had to basically make smart devices that could connect with Matter. So basically, if you had like for instance, I have like a Google thermostat, right? That I can now, read and basically control on my Apple Home app. So that's pretty cool, and vice versa, Apple, Google Home and things like that. But it's slow adoption. And somehow when I first heard about that, when I first heard about this, I was like, oh, okay. But they're only 3 DJ softwares. I can understand that Serato is not a part of that because Serato is coming out with Serato 4. So they're working on this, new version. So that's completely understandable. We know that virtual DJ will basically be on board at some point, because to me, I think they have like the best developers, the best programmers. They get it. They're like, yo, this is it, let's get it, right? So that's it. The one library is really cool if it actually works. I'm gonna give it a try. I've been playing around with it, but not really hardcore. So I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to basically create a playlist inside of maybe Rekordbox. And then I'm going to export that onto a thumb drive and then see if I can, use that same playlist inside of DJ Pro, and also that same playlist inside of inside of Traktor. Speaking of stems, this one in library, right? Is that going to work with stems? I'm going to say no, because Traktor, basically separates stems totally different than Rekordbox and also DJ Pro, so we don't know. But it's really cool that finally we have a system that'll give us the ability to create one playlist, grid it up, hot queue it up, everything else, and then take that playlist, export it onto a thumb drive, and be able to use it, at least right now, into 3 DJ softwares, Rekordbox, DJ Pro, and Traktor. So we will see. I have some really cool interviews coming up. So over the last 4 or 5 weeks, I've been interviewing emerging DJs, right? And so I think I have enough interviews where I'm going to release the first one. The first emerging DJ interview will be DJ Amir Brooks. He's a guy from Jersey. And he's been doing his thing, so we're going to get that out pretty soon, probably next week sometime. This week, I have an interview with Lavonda Rocks. She is a content creator, YouTuber, a live DJ streamer. And anytime I wanted to find out about anything that had to do with live DJ streaming, and she would always come up. And so I started watching her, and I was like, hey, you know what? She has really good information, so I just kept watching her and kind of put my set, not my set, but kind of configured everything, when it came to my softwares, because I said softwares, I have to use, if I'm using a DJ software, that's one software. And then also, Ecamm Live, which is my streaming software. So, just things like that, and, just some ideas about how to interact, with your stream, with your people who are watching you, this, that, and the other. Great interview. She's a great person. Lots of information. She has a great story. I'm editing that video right now. So hopefully that'll be out either Tuesday or Wednesday. So we will see. Okay, so again, I just wanted to pop on because today is Sunday, and you know what happens on Sundays, Sunday brunch. Until next time, peace.